Hi, you're listening to
The Four Takeaway Podcast,
where we talk about anything and everything on the menu from movies, music, gossip, news, etc. through the eyes of four rather weird individuals.
I am Heiko.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Hamid.
I'm Yas.
And in this episode, the crew gathers around the campfire, and by that we mean a campfire video we played on YouTube because we're still kind of stuck at home, while Heiko and I share their picks of the most haunting urban legends from Germany and the Philippines.
Oh, spoopy.
Would you like that for dining?
Or for takeaway.
For takeaway.
So it's some sort of advanced Halloween episode?
Yeah, we just can't wait for Halloween anymore, so we're just
It's always
moving it.
I think
The whole
2020
year has been scary.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. 2020 is the Halloween year.
And this episode has
That's
been
true.
cursed. We know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
We've been
yeah, we
having
weren't
troubles
able
recording.
to record yesterday. Why? Because everything just
Yeah, this episode has a curse. Yesterday we wanted to record, but then so many things for setting up was going wrong. Then when we got everything right, someone started mowing their lawn back in Heiko's end and would stop and start each time he speaks.
right.
And then today,
We were supposed to record like an hour ago.
an hour ago, but thunderbolt and lightning
The moment we started.
happened in this
Very,
time
very
Hamid's
tight.
side. Kuya Hamid's side.
So yeah, anyway, despite the Halloween year, guys, please don't forget that we're still
On that
in
note,
2020 and things are still happening. COVID is still there. Please wear your freaking masks.
Yeah, do it. I can't even believe we need to say that, but do it. Do it. It has so many
Right.
advantages.
And
Well,
you-
it's a small
And-
price to pay for immunity against chemtrails. What was that?
and 5G.
5G,
It's
yeah, right.
been a
Yeah.
proven study
Yeah.
that the masks, especially the N95 variety, is able to both to reflect the radiations from the 5G towers that the government is currently erecting around your city.
Thank you, Professor Ahmad.
Why
Thank
did
you.
I turn into that accent? Carry on.
And that's the most important thing. That's the only thing that can convince everyone to wear a mask so that they won't be affected by 5G.
Or Chinese surveillance, or American surveillance, or German surveillance, or Facebook surveillance.
Notice how he didn't say Philippine surveillance because we can't afford it.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Ouch, dude. That ain't right.
Yeah. Also, please don't forget that just because we are no longer talking, or we're no longer talking about it, or we don't have an episode for it, and we're done posting resources, doesn't mean we're done doing something about the Black Lives Matter movement and what's been happening around the world, no longer in just the US, but around the world.
Never let it stop.
Yes. Also, know what's happening in Yemen, in Syria, in Palestine, in your own countries as well. Please, just
Like, this is an opportunity for everyone to be like a better person. Everything about what's going on is forcing us to be, better. So do it. Take it. Take that opportunity.
all
Don't
right.
be sorry. Be better.
Exactly.
Okay, so no, what a wonderful day it is. I can tell you when I started doing my research for this, I had the time of my life because, as Hannah told us, it was Hannah, right? The introduction?
Yes.
I mean, it happened just 10 minutes ago, but just had to ask. I had
Are you
the time
okay?
of my life because my instincts told me I should just look up the definitions for urban legends, and it was just great. I mean, let me bore you with that for a second, okay? Before we get into it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
an urban legend,
I'm bored
myth,
already.
or tale. No, then I'm not going to play along.
Go ahead.
Urban legend, myth, or tale is a modern type of folklore. It often consists of fictional stories associated with the macabre. Macabre? How do you say that?
Macabre.
Blah.
I thought you were talking about the Spanish term.
The Spanish Inquisition.
Anyway.
No one expects them. Superstitions, cryptids, creepypasta that we all love, and other like fear in mystery-generating narrative elements, urban legends are often rooted in local history and popular culture. And who doesn't know all those all-time classics like the hippo eats dwarf story? Do you know that one?
Yeah, and Trump's Twitter.
All of them. Or
That is
the
a massive cryptid right there.
or the aerial water bomber picking up the bomber picking up like a scuba diver and dropping him off a forest.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, these are like those
Yeah.
those one-liners or two-liners that you could just like pass around at the campfire. And what else? What else? Oh, the 999 phone charging myth, an urban legend which claims that calling the police and fire services, then hanging up, charges mobile phone batteries.
Oh wow,
Let
we
that
should try
sink
that.
in.
Charges mobile phone batteries. Would that be like a folklore slash thingy, or is that a like conspiracy theory?
I think it's an. I Huh. I think
Conspiracy
it's
theory.
under
I'd
that
venture to say
umbrella.
that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
urban
yeah.
legends, conspiracy theory, like no proof, but somehow people say there are proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it might be in a way like that drink that I'm having right now. It says it's super healthy, but it only consists of 6% fruit. So maybe there's 6% truth in it.
Yes.
Oh, no.
So might be a little foreshadowing to our takeaway, but we'll see. We'll see. So so I
Okay.
was then looking for like an urban legend or a story, piece of folklore that was like typical for Germany or German culture, and it was hard to find. But my question is to you right
Because
now.
you're
has it-
always efficient and
Right.
you always just want to be serious and
Yeah.
you guys are boring. I'm kidding. I'm sorry, Germany.
You're not kidding. I can see it in your eyes. My question for you: Has it ever happened? Has it ever happened to you that something was just so obvious right in front of you that you just didn't see it?
That often happens.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that happened with me in the search of the German urban legend. But then there was this story that I guess every third grader in school hears about in Germany, and just everyone knows. Of course, in German schools, the only children's stories you'd hear would be those that teach you discipline, like the one about the girl that plays with matches and literally burns to death. It's a legit
my God.
story.
Oh gosh, you guys have very, very, very dark children's stories.
Yeah, or the one
Germans,
about the
what's-
kid.
why?
About the kid that keeps sucking his thumbs,
His thumb.
and then
Yeah.
his mom says, "Stop that!" and he says, "No," and keeps sucking his thumbs. So the mother cuts off his thumbs. Good night.
Jeez.
Have a good sleep.
Oh my
Right?
god.
So-
And there's a compilation book of different stories that are just as
that's
dark.
a way to stop your child from sucking his thumbs.
Yeah, and from
Cut
having a
him
good
off.
childhood.
Duh.
Yeah. There's this one other story about a kid who complains of about black people or colored people in the village, and then his father dumps him in black ink, so he would learn the lesson.
Wow.
Well, those are not like the kind of urban legends that I was going for, but the one that I was going for is one that teaches you a lesson about not following weird people with funny clothes. And it's the story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin. That, of course, I know you've heard about somewhere.
Yeah. Well,
And yeah,
well, in our
because it's
childhood,
so popular.
we came across that one.
So the story is called the Pied Piper of Hamelin, or the Rat Catcher of Hamelin, and I could also call it the Pied Piper incident to make it sound more like a criminal.
Creepypasta.
What would you
creepypasta, yeah.
call it in Germany?
Der Rattenfänger von Hameln.
Right. Yes, that one.
Finger.
The Rat Catcher of Hamelin. Hamelin. It's said to have happened in 1284 and maybe based on a true event, or more than that, more than one true event. But I'll get to that later. And
Okay.
although the true story might have been somewhat different from the tale, details would also always change through the years and decades and centuries. But let me give you the most common version of it, brought to you by Brothers Grimm, that you all know,
Ooh,
And-
love them.
and sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Space Shuttle Legends is an awesome new game. Sorry.
Hey, don't do that.
Introducing a new
Is
character.
that legal? Can we do that?
The rat catcher. No,
As
we
a joke,
cannot.
yeah. But yeah, we're not
Yeah, okay.
sponsored. But hey, Raid, if you're listening,
Hit us up.
We're
Just-
desperate.
yeah. We have potential.
Okay.
So back at the time, Hamelin was suffering from a great plague of rats, which is not to be confused with the Great Plague that was carried and transferred by rats. Just a rat just a rat infestation, but that by itself is bad enough. And the town itself could not control that. But fortunately, they had just the right guy for the job. He wore like a robe of colored cloth, which is where the name of the story comes from, because the word pied apparently references the multicolored attire.
Because it
No.
looks like a colorful pie. What?
So it might just be an ancient, like, traditional word for
No comment.
something multicolored. We can look that up later.
Cool.
At the time. And just a flamboyant guy, and he pretended to be a rat catcher, promising to get rid of the rats for the town, to get rid of all the mice and rats for a certain amount of money, which was said to be the amount of 1,000 guildens, which I do not have any idea how much, or I do not have any idea how much that is. But yeah, there you go. He didn't tell these townspeople how he would go about it, but he appeared confident enough, so he got the job. Which is everything you should do in a job interview, right? You
Exactly.
you should be confident.
yeah.
So, a solution too good to be true, and with seemingly no catch and repercussions. There was no way anyone could mess that up as long as the mayor just pays. And guess the fudge what? No, I'll get to that later. The citizens promised him a decent paycheck, like I said, and the guy who would later be known as the Pied Piper pulled out his massive pipe, which is not supposed to sound sexual at all.
Oh my god.
And blew on it.
Excuse the men.
Continue.
And he started whistling a tune. And then the rats and mice, because that's like the first law of nature, the rats and mice, they came crawling out of all the houses and corners and streets, gathered around him. And when he thought that there were none left, he went out of the town into the Weser, which of course is a river that we all know,
Of course.
next to the city, or that flows through the city. And the whole bunch followed him, fell into the water, and drowned. That's the most common.
So his pretending
Version of the way.
actually worked.
Or was he pretending?
Ooh.
Ooh. But then, here's the twist. The mayor refused to pay, or
Of
like
course.
reportedly reduced the salary or his pay to a sum of 50 guilders instead of 1,000. But
Oh, how
Even-
dare he?
how dare he? Even going so far as to blame the piper for bringing the rats himself in like an extortion attempt. So, enraged, the piper stormed out of the town, vowing to return later to take revenge. And on the next holiday, while the adults were gathering in church, this time he returned dressed in a hunter's attire, right? And like in green with a red whimsical hat and all that. And he started playing his flute again, and doing so, he attracted the town's children. 130 children followed him out of town.
So not
And
rats
depending on-
anymore, but children.
Not rats anymore. Maybe, well,
Children also known
Technically
as
still
rats.
technically, So they followed him, and in the Brothers Grimm version, if I'm not getting this wrong right now, they followed him into a cave, never to be seen again. And in other versions,
boy.
they were also drowned instead of following him into a cave, or they were led into the mountains, or like different versions or in different accounts. But they were just like, they disappeared. They were lost. What most of these versions have in common would be that there are 3 children that returned or that were saved, because one of them was lame and couldn't follow, or one of them was mute and couldn't, or one of them returned but was mute so he couldn't tell. One of them was blind so he couldn't see where he was going. And like different versions. One of them might have been, or it said that one of them had returned to get his coat and lost track of the others. But the essence of that would be that those children were the ones who told the adults what happened. That it was this
Okay.
piper
They're
that,
the witnesses.
right. Because every story like that needs witnesses. So it can be that story that definitely happened to
Yes.
like the neighbor of a friend, of a kid, of of a cousin.
Twice removed.
Twice removed. What does that even mean?
A first cousin twice removed.
So yeah, that's what happened, and this story has had such a huge cultural impact, and from what I could gather, it's being commonly told and taught, not only in Germany but also in countries like the USA, in Japan as a part of history class.
Oh, wow.
To answer your question from the last time, in history class, and it has been translated into more than 30 languages, and it's estimated that more than 1 billion people now know about it. And
wow.
of course, you can't take a stroll through the town. Well, right now it's 1,000,000,003 because I count you too. Today you can't even take a stroll through the town of Hamelin without coming across all kinds of
Wait.
statues and yes.
Could you like paint a picture? Let's say 7-8-year-old Heiko in Germany, and then your like the elders around you told you about this story. What would you like feel whenever you hear like a flute playing nearby?
I'll be like, finally.
Finally, that's my way out of this joint.
But wait,
it's-
Hamlin. Where is it? Where is Hamlin? Is it near your
Where's
Germany,
what?
dude.
Hamlin?
English would be
Hamelin.
Hamelin, right?
Hammond.
Hamelin, yeah. Well, they put an I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Just to
the
make it
end.
more
Hammond.
American. or
Hammond.
Englishy.
I guess, yes. It's in Lower
Where is it?
Saxony, also Niedersachsen. And it's it's between Bielefeld and Hannover. It's not too far away from here, where I live right now.
It's between
Maybe.
you and who?
Hannover.
Between
That's me.
Hannover and Bielefeld.
Bielefeld and Ate. Got it.
Yeah.
So were you scared of this urban legend?
Okay, to be fair, compared to all those stories that I told you about before that, the girl that burns to death and the
Yeah,
guy who
yeah,
gets
yeah.
dropped into black ink, this is relatively harmless.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's because it's not that graphic. It
Right.
just says
Like, oh, someone's gonna take
quantity.
you.
However, the other ones go for the quality. Burning to death, getting your thumbs cut off.
Yeah.
These
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
how many they are, just disappeared. It says, "Do not extort young entrepreneurs."
Well,
Oh yeah,
Lesson.
it's a
Because-
lesson for
because they're
bosses too.
Coming for revenge.
Oh, and it teaches stranger danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you just can't
Ah.
help but be lured by that song he's playing. Sometimes
What
you
was
just
he
gotta
playing?
follow.
He's also doing the dance. That's not Sandstorm.
Oh no.
It's a sax man.
Wait, there was this other thing that I had to think of. Wait, what was it? Hold on, give me that second.
Okay.
Eh. Can you hear?
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Oh yeah. If you hear that, you'll come out and stop.
Probably be in the coffin, but
You'll stop whatever you're
Ah.
doing and follow the Pied Piper.
The kids were like, "Why do I hear boss music?"
The funniest thing about this is, like for more than 60 years now, this whole Pied Piper tale has come alive in Hamelin. So historically, every summer, on every Sunday, historically
Children to their
clothed
deaths.
amateur actors present the legend of the
Wow.
Pied Piper
that's
of,
cool.
of Hamelin.
Ooh,
to the
I
citizens.
want to
actually
watch
cool.
that.
Yeah, well, hold on. It gets better. Get this. Every Sunday at 12, I always can get that wrong, 12 p.m.
They
noon,
actually sacrificed children.
Yeah.
yeah.
the tale is performed by actors in the town center, and visitors get to see the story of lies and revenge and the evil mayor, and it's free of admission. Well, just if you're out there, you can just give it a try. The show runs some 30 minutes, and after that, the piper marches through the old town, followed, get this, by children in rat costumes. So it's like killing
That's
two
actually
birds
cute.
with one
That's so
stone.
pure.
Like two nuisances in one go. Just get them out of here.
Yeah.
Get them out of here.
That's so pure.
It would also be nice if like the audience could participate and follow along.
Yeah, and everyone in the town would just be walking.
Yeah, and everyone in the town will disappear.
I think that's even what happens. I think it's just that parade, and at the
What?
top of the parade, it's the piper and the rats, and you can
No,
just
no, no. He
follow
means
like,
the parade,
Oh,
not the
okay.
disappearance. Because she was like, and everyone just disappears. And then you're like, yeah, that's just what happens. I feel like.
It's part of
I mean,
tradition.
every year a whole town disappears. It's no big deal.
Well, and as always, we don't quite know where the story comes from. There have been many attempts to explain the roots for this. For example, the children who vanished could have been like young citizens of Hamelin who were recruited by noble lords of the vicinity to just resettle in the east. And cults are always a suspect. Aliens, chemtrails, 5G, Bill Gates, you name it.
Cool.
If you want to know more, you should just maybe do research
Yeah,
on your
read
own.
on
I'm
it.
just a single person, so please give me a break. So that's that.
Have worn air face masks.
That was really
Yeah.
good.
That was good. That was a good first one.
Yeah,
It
it's
is,
like,
yeah?
yeah.
Oh, it was. Well, thank you.
Very well
Thank
known,
you.
but still really like you could dive further into it.
So we'll travel to Southeast Asia now from Europe.
We can't.
Why not? Oh, because everything is still. Yeah. Okay, fine. We'll just imaginatively travel to
Okay.
Southeast Asia. And my question is, have you ever been lost whilst hiking or walking in some wooded area?
Oh my god.
Lost
Joke's on
in
you,
like
I
the
never go
woods.
outside.
Yeah.
I personally never have been lost in the
Have you
woods.
ever seen unexplainable smoke coming out of treetops?
Yeah, we have.
And lastly, have you
That
ever
was a forest fire, bro.
Oh no, not that. The other thing.
lastly, have
Oh,
you
the one we made. I mean, what?
No. Continue.
and lastly, are you ready for the last question?
Yep.
Have you ever spotted an 8-foot tall ape-looking demon sitting on a tree branch beside our house?
We're talking to him right now. I'm just kidding.
From a mile away.
Well, odds are you've had a capre encounter.
Capre.
So, what is a capre? That's Kapre, capre. So, often called the Philippine version of a Bigfoot or a Yeti,
Yeah.
this Filipino tree demon looks like a great mixture of human and ape. It is generally a giant from 8 to 9 feet tall with black or brown long coarse hair, including a beard and eyes that burn like a cigar tip. They have giant tree-thick legs, long fingernails, and sharp teeth. They often wear what we call bahag, or this is the traditional clothing from northern Philippines. Why are you guys?
Oh yeah, and
laughing?
he commonly has like a cigar or something, right? Isn't
Yes.
that
Yeah,
like
the
how
back
they're
little thing.
portrayed?
Yeah. According to some, capres wear a belt that makes them invisible to the human eye. Sometimes they even have a small magical white stone, and it is believed that if you were to retrieve it, the capre can grant your wishes.
What? I didn't know this side of it. Did you?
That I didn't know.
I did. Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
So the capres enjoy hanging out in giant trees, observing animals and the locals. They can generally be found sitting in the shade, smoking his cigar, or up in the branches. They can also sometimes live in abandoned houses or ruins, but that's very uncommon.
So they're not
usually-
necessarily harmful or something. They're not like
No, they're very friendly. They're
unless
and they're just observant. But we'll get there.
Sounds
we'll
like a
get
chill
there.
dude. Where does he get his cigarette from, by the way? His cigar.
I don't know.
Tobacco.
You
plants
probably
are very
know
common
him.
in the
Yeah.
forest.
probably know him. Yeah.
Probably steals them too.
Yeah. So how do you find one? Because of course that's everyone's dream.
Uh huh.
So if you hear loud laughs from trees, and that's one
That's
sign.
creepy as.
You like
so
I
you
said,
walk around telling jokes.
smoke coming from these trees, smell of tobacco smoke in places where there's no one smoking, and if there are lots of trees because they love trees. And then sometimes you'd sometimes see red eyes from a tree.
Ooh.
That's not creepy at all, isn't it?
Absolutely
And
not.
this is a good one. When you see a lot of fireflies in foresty or woody areas, it is believed that those fireflies are actually the embers from a capre cigar.
Ooh, that's really cool.
Oh.
That's nice.
And
But I just noticed now that I've never seen a firefly before. Have you guys?
Yes.
yeah, we have. I think so in province.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have.
What
Like
the
the-
heck?
Yeah.
You have, dude. You just
I think
forgot.
yeah.
Because it's very
I have not.
underwhelming.
Yeah, because they're just like flies. And then
I
they're-
doubt it.
And their lights are not even that bright.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
doubt it.
It's
Yeah,
not
unless you
half
look in
as
the dark.
magical as Disney would make you believe.
Exactly.
Right.
I still believe. No, y'all shut up. Go on. Carry
Don't
on.
ruin it for him.
Oh, and of course, if you have an ember with you, because everyone
Has an ember.
has an ember, who doesn't bring them anywhere? It'll glow
What's
when a
an ember?
capre is in a. It's like it's like a stone, like a.
You know, it goes
I know.
down when you yell ember. Because you better move, you better dance. Let's make a
Oh, shut
night.
up.
You
Timber.
won't remember.
Oh, an actual ember? Where do you
Yeah.
pick that up?
Coal, a coal.
So you walk around with coal?
Yeah, because everyone does that. Who
Yeah.
doesn't?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
So, what did you say? It glows? What happens?
Yeah, it glows when a capre is in a playful or prankster mood.
Oh, that's good. You wish
What
that
the
it
hell
should glow.
does that mean?
No, but the thing is, when a capre is playful or prankster, or in a prankster mood, he would prank you.
So, like, he kicks you.
No.
He just throws you.
An 8-foot leg just comes out of nowhere.
We'll get there. We'll get through
Okay.
what we do.
Okay.
Patience,
Okay.
guys. I know you're so excited.
This
But
is cool.
Yeah, he's an 8-foot tall tree monkey with a cigar. That's
Yeah.
super cool.
yeah.
Pretty badass, dude.
You can also befriend a capre. If you are a capre's friend and you were to sit on his branch, the capre loses their invisibility, making them visible to anyone.
Can I sit on your branch, Heiko?
No, you may not.
To befriend
But I
you?
appreciate you asking.
So what do they do? Mainly, they play pranks on people. They're very chill and friendly, but they love playing pranks on people. When you get lost while hiking or walking and you find yourself walking in circles, odds are a capre is doing some mind tricks on you.
Ooh.
According to some articles I read, a favorite prank of a capre is taking your bed while you're still sleeping on it out of the house and on a branch of a tree while you're still sleeping. So you wake up on your bed.
I want to hear a
On top of a
story
tree.
of that happening.
But here's the thing: if you anger it, it can make you get super sick, and it's like a very bad enemy, basically.
Sick like what?
Sick like vomit,
Some sort of
Flu.
disease.
diarrhea.
I wouldn't want that.
So
kind of
how
things.
how do you anger it?
Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
They're known to be such hopeless romantic. When they fall in love with a woman, they're known to follow that woman for the rest of her life.
Wow.
God damn.
They're also known to be very jealous. So they become very possessive and they don't let any guy near the woman. So oftentimes,
Capres are yanderes confirmed.
oftentimes it is when a capre is jealous that they become violent.
Why is this describing like an F boy? Like, okay, first they just smoke cigars, don't take
Play
showers, like
pranks on
aren't clean,
people.
play pranks on people, are very possessive and jealous.
Yeah, and
Like-
become very violent. Yeah. So how to not get tricked by a capre? We all should know that. It's like
Tricked?
survival.
You mean by trick like pranks?
Yeah.
From the okay.
Survival 101. If you're getting lost, you have to wear your shirt inside out.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know this one.
But what
like-
does that do?
It's like in SpongeBob where they're camping and they're drawing a circle around them to deter what was that? Sea bears, and it's really just a circle and there's this huge monstrous sea bear fish monster
Yeah.
mutant thing, and he's about to eat them, and then he sees the circle in the ground, and that's like, oh no, I'm not going to do that. He just returns.
Yeah, that's how you don't get tricked by a copper, so you won't get lost.
So wear your shirt inside out.
Yes, if you're
Cool.
passing
I
a
do that all
tree
the time anyway.
if you're passing a tree that you know a copper is chilling at, be respectful and like ask permission to pass by. So we have this
Yeah, tabi-tabi po.
we have this
Yeah.
sentence in Filipino,
Phrase.
tabi tabi po. Yeah, it's a phrase. Tabi tabi
Coming
po.
through, coming through.
Yeah, coming through or excuse me, kind of like that. So you say that every time you pass by a tree that you know a copper is chilling at.
Yep.
And
So how do you know a copper is chilling in that tree?
again, I told you that.
Like if there's
coming out
like
of a
red
tree.
Smoke,
eyes, smoke.
laughs, hold an ember, and if it's
Glowing.
if it lightens or it glows, then that means there's a copper.
Oh, so it's like that Sting from Lord of the Rings. If an orc comes by, Sting starts to glow.
right. Yeah, sure. And most importantly, don't make so much noise where he's dwelling because coppers just like to chill quietly on a tree with a cigar.
Like me.
Okay.
Until they want to prank you.
That's so
Yes.
unfair. We
And-
can't make noise, but he can laugh.
And most importantly,
Yeah,
this is
right?
the most important one, not the other one actually. When a couple is in love with a woman, just stay away from that woman.
Wow.
How would I know that?
Oh, yeah, like, sure, keep my mom. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So accounts. Not too long ago, a dozen of mountain climbers climbing a mountain. that's the,
That's
the
what they do, those
sentence.
mountain climbers.
Is that
That's
is that
the
what you
sentence from
typed?
the- no. That's the
They
sentence.
feel daring.
I'm reading the sentence in the article. In a scenic Philippine province of Batangas, become disoriented, thus losing sense of their direction. They decided to leave marks in the trails that they already passed by, only to find themselves passing back that same place over and over again. Until a local man, about 70 years old, that lives near the mountain, heard their call and helped them by reciting a prayer and a ritual that pays homage.
Homage.
Or homage? If it's homage, no H. If
Homage.
it's homage, then with
Okay,
H.
and a ritual that pays homage and respect to the coppers, asking them to stop the pranks, please, being played on the mountain climbers.
Did
After
they get
a
home?
few minutes, the climbers went on with their downward trek and were able to find the right place to lowland again.
Okay.
That's one example.
Or
Yeah,
they could
Did
just
they pay
be...
the old man?
probably. I don't know. Or maybe
Because if they
the
did,
old
that
man
was
just
most
wants to
likely
help.
a tourist scam.
Oh my gosh, I think so
True.
too.
But anyway, that's that's an account of a capre.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So now let's get real. Okay, where this origin come from? I specifically chose this because it actually has a racist origin.
Oh yeah, because
Oh,
he's
no.
depicted as really like dark.
Yeah. So the term capre was derived from the Arabic term kafir, meaning a non-believer.
Kafir.
Kafir,
Oh.
meaning a non-believer. It is also related to the Spanish term capfre. According to historical accounts, the early Moors and Arabs used that term to signify persons who are non-Muslims and who possess dark complexion. By having
Kafir.
contact with the
Kafir.
Moors, yeah, kafir, the term later on find its way in the language of the Philippines by the Spanish in their more than 3 centuries of colonizing the Philippines. Some historians speculate that the legend was propagated by the Spanish to prevent Filipinos from assisting any escaped African slaves, because the Spanish called those slaves capfre. They used it to describe the indigenous negrito. So
Yeah.
negrito is one of our ancestors in the Philippines. These are ethnic groups with dark skin and features similar to black Africans.
Yeah.
That's our early ancestors. This is also evident in the fact that a synonym for capfre is agta, which is another name for the Aita
Aita.
people.
Yeah.
Oh.
Aita.
The Itas. Modern mythical characterizations of the capre evolved from formerly racist portrayals of Negrito tribes, which is very sad
Racist.
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
racist. By the lowland Christianized, portrayals of Negrito tribes by the lowland Christianized ethnic groups of the Philippines during the Spanish period.
I did not know that. So we
Mm.
can X that out of our books.
Yes. So guys, just no.
Just don't acknowledge it.
Just educate yourselves.
Yes.
True.
So, yeah, it's important to know also the history or where these mythological creatures and urban legends come from, because maybe
Yeah.
they are from a very negative origin, you know. So that's helpful.
Thank you for that.
And that is my first urban legend.
Hey, I like that. I
Ooh.
like how we have this kind of twist on urban legends that we're doing, that you two are doing. It's not just the urban legends. Like, we learn more about it than that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
not just the past, it's also like this self-help or survival 101.
Yeah.
I know what to do when I see smoke coming
Yeah,
out
just
of
wear a rat
tree.
costume.
Definitely not calling the fire department.
Yes.
I'm just gonna
Only you
whip
can
out
stop
my.
forest fires.
Definitely do not call a fire department, because they're gonna like ruin the Capra's house.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, right.
how?
I mean, you could still later just befriend the capre and have a
Yeah,
wish.
sure. Or try to get
Sit
the
on
belt.
this branch.
Yeah.
God, that sounds so wrong.
I realized as I said that, I said that a while ago as a joke, as this running joke that Heiko's a capre.
And now
So-
it just,
and then I
like-
realized saying it.
All right. We have the last two. We have another one from Heiko and another one
Yeah.
from me.
Yeah.
And let's jump in.
Imagine that this time in the far west of Germany, near Frankfurt, extensive forests, wide meadows, narrow paths, rushing brooks and creeks, pretty villages, unique nature, and the refuge of the last werewolf in Germany. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Okay, imagine a misty autumn. Okay, no, I should give you the title of my story first. It's The Moorbach Monster. Or
Moorbach?
Das Monster von Moorbach. To our German-speaking friends out there. Yeah, the last werewolf sighting in Germany. Imagine it's 1988, this time, 1988. Misty fall evening. Darkness has descended over the military Air Force base, the Hahn Air Force Base, United States military base in Germany. Full moon. And a small group of American soldiers make their way to their post where they're tasked with guarding an ammunition depot. Like 5 young American soldiers. And it's near Moorbach, more like an area or like a region in the west of Germany. And on the way, soldiers pass a small house dedicated to the Virgin Mary. We have those tiny little shacks. You could also, they look like shrines. They have the statue of
Right,
the Virgin
yeah.
Mary and
Yeah, we also have those in the Philippines,
and
usually
candles.
beside churches.
yeah, and they're like everywhere. There doesn't even have to be a church around.
Ooh.
Funny thing is, most of the times because of against vandalism, they have this gate, so you couldn't even approach it.
Okay.
And this time, this one usually has had a candle that was flickering in the shrine, which is not only supposed to keep the darkness at bay, but also supposed to keep the werewolf away. Because in the nearby district, the town of Wittlich, a werewolf has once been killed around about 200 years ago.
Wow.
Hold up. So according to this legend, the beast returns whenever the candle goes out.
Oh.
So in this evening, with those American soldiers, no narrow beam of light illuminates the religious landmark. The flame has gone out. So the strange omen does not yet cause fear for the guard soldiers, but still bear it in mind. At the same night, an incident occurs. Sensors within the ground of the perimeter go up, or the alarm sounds. And when the security guard reaches the site, they see a dog-like figure standing on its hind legs and jumping over the 3-meter-high fence. And the creature dissolves into darkness. And the interesting thing about this is that there are actual eyewitness accounts. Like this one soldier that explains that he saw this dog-like figure and he started screaming like this usual routine that you have. You say, "Freeze, you're approaching the U.S. Army," secure area. If you don't identify yourself, I'm gonna have to shoot or use a firearm
Right.
or something. And of course, that didn't work. And another watchman later reports. He says, I brought my gun to bear and screamed, "This is my last warning. Show yourself, or I'll shoot." Then something roared in the forest. I've never heard a forest lion roar, but my brother-in-law told me about it. He said the lion sounds like a woman calling for help in mortal terror. That's exactly what it sounded like.
Ooh.
So, of course, I know there are no forest lions in Germany, but there was something in the forest, and it was at least 7 feet tall, made a noise like a rabid wolf. 1988, eyewitness accounts. So, and comrades march out for like reinforcements and a surge of, and they bring a surge dog, but that poor thing just pulled its tail and doesn't move an inch. And soon after, another U.S. soldier came forward, who saw the monster apparently too, and confirmed the incident is real. And he said, I was stationed at Hahn Air Base, Germany, from May 1986 to August 1989 as a security policeman. And it was my group that witnessed the Moorbach werewolf. And whoever told you the story had very accurate information.
Wow.
So that's what happened in the 80s. And the exciting thing about this is that it actually has this background, because it's believed that the human form of this beast was called Thomas Johannes Baptist Schwitzer, who served as a soldier in Napoleon's army, and we know that didn't go well, right?
Right.
So he deserted and tried to make his way back to his homeland, which was the Alsace. Alsace. Okay, the only thing you need to know is that he had to go through this area of Moorbach and through the town of Wittlich, where he
Okay.
raided a farm and killed the landowner who stood in his way and murdered his 3 sons.
Oh.
And the farmer's wife cursed him, like telling him to turn into an animal every full moon. And because he didn't like that very much, he crushed her skull as well.
Wow.
But of course, the curse had its effect. At every full moon, Thomas Schwitzer, an unbelievable change, or it underwent do you say underwent?
Yeah.
Is that a word? Yeah.
Yeah.
With every full moon, this Thomas Schwitzer underwent an unbelievable change, and he lost all his inhibitions and became the most brutal and inhuman killer person.
Wow.
He robbed, murdered, looted, pillaged, burned, raped, all these things, which leaves the question, why would this farmer wife curse him with something like that?
Yeah,
I mean,
it
that's
caused
not
even
really a
more
service to the
damage.
community.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean,
it's
I
like
would,
in
only-
the vampire mythos, Cain's curse of immortality.
Yeah.
Right. And it only made everything worse.
Right. I mean, if I had been in that place, I would probably turn him into a chicken. or
And
like
eat
like a
him.
snail. Not a snail,
Right.
a slug. Like a naked, disgusting, slow slug. An immortal
Oh
slug.
my god.
So
Oh,
whenever
he
you
has
get
to
picked
live
up,
like that forever. Damn.
Right. Whenever you get picked up by, I don't know, by a bird, and it swallows you and you live through it.
You have to painstakingly wriggle
Heiko has a
yourself
dark
out of
side
a dying
I didn't
bird.
know about.
Sorry, but that really got me thinking. I mean, okay, this guy is killing my family. I'm going to turn him into an even more dangerous monster than he is right now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Maybe she didn't mean for the killer part to happen.
She
'cause,
said animal, right?
Yeah, like an
She might have
animal
meant slug
every.
for all we know.
Yeah.
This dude,
But then before she before she specified it, her head got crushed.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she meant to specify it. Like, you can be a werewolf, but you can only, I don't know.
And then bam, head crush.
Yeah, right. Mm. So one
Now
day-
we see the difficulty.
Yeah. I mean, you can't prepare for things like that.
The
Just in
semantics
case I
of
need to curse someone,
spellcasting.
let me just put down my pitch here. No. So one day, he raped a young girl named
What?
Elizabeth. Hold up.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, let me finish.
What the heck?
Hold up. One day, he raped a young girl named Elizabeth Bayerle, the daughter of a local farmer. He really hates farmers. You can hear that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
And this act finally, after so much time of murdering and looting and pillaging and burning, shook up the population, and they hunted Schwitzer down and captured him, and killed him after a chase that ended near Moorbach. And he was killed at a
Okay.
crossroads where this house that I told you of, this little shrine, was erected. Yeah, this is supposed to, the candle inside there is supposed to banish the spirit of the werewolf. Oh, okay, and here's the final part, like the after credit scene, so to say.
Okay.
This girl, Elizabeth Byler, gave birth to a child 9 months later,
Oh no.
Oh.
and the boy grew into a respectable citizen of Moorbach and showed no signs of the werewolf curse.
Okay.
But this is like where you have the last shot, like this. The camera would zoom in on his face, and his eyes would turn black, and he would have that smirk, and then there would be the
Yeah.
credits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the 2 century old prehistory of this Moorbach monster, which today apparently lives in the dark forests of the German low mountain range. And again, some buzzkills are trying to approach this whole thing with their boring buzzkill logic. You know, the beast those soldiers claim to have seen might have just been a guy in a costume, or it was just a
Yeah.
prank, bro. But you know, only fools would believe that werewolves are real. So are vampires, vaccines cause chemtrails. Wake up, sheeple.
I don't know, man. Maybe it was a copper playing a prank on them.
Yeah. Could be.
Oh.
Yeah, I tried to give you like a lesser known story that's still rooted in some like historical facts and figures.
Yeah.
Because that guy allegedly existed and
Yeah,
was
there's
killed by the
historical
population. But,
backing to him.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny or interesting how those things together can create this captivating story about the last werewolf of Germany.
All right. So, ready for my last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We go back to the Philippines, and this time
Why
I'm
would
going
you?
to talk to I'm going to talk about probably the most famous urban legend or
Aswang.
Filipino mythological creature. You are right. The
Oh, cool.
aswang.
Hey.
So let me start with a recorded like journal entry. So one record I found is by Father Juan de Plasencia in a journal titled Customs of the Tagalogs, which was written in 1589. So he
This
wrote
was a priest.
Yes, he wrote in the journal, the sixth was called Silagan. If they saw anyone clothed in white, to tear out his liver and eat it, thus causing his death. This, like the preceding, was in the island of Catanduanes. Let no one,
Some-
moreover, consider this a fable, because in Calaban, they tore out in this way through the anus all the intestines of a Spanish notary who was buried in Calilaya by Father Fray Juan de Merida.
Wow. Okay.
Well. Well.
Yeah.
Through that.
Yes. So, aswang is perhaps one of the most famous Filipino urban legend. Like I said, it is also known as the most feared. There are many, many versions of this all throughout the country because many provinces have their own take on it. So, again, that's the first account in 16th century. So yeah, there's another historical origin from Bicol, which is the northern
Northern relatability.
northern regions of the Philippines. So Bicolanos believed in the god named Gugurang, who was the good god that acted as the beneficent of their region, the defender and guardian of their homes, and their protector against the evil of the god Aswang. So good god
So like
Gugurang,
Talos.
bad god Aswang. The god Aswang, that's Asuang, however, was the evil god and
Aswang.
rival
Okay.
who attempted to always cause harm to Gugurang and found pleasure in doing so. Gugurang was always praised by the Bicolanos and Aswang shunned and cursed. So that's like the origin of Aswang. So what is an Aswang? The Aswang creature is Aswang. Okay? The Aswang is a shape-shifting evil spirit. They're like blended versions of vampire, witch, werebeast, and ghouls.
Yeah.
I always
Aswangs
thought they were
appear-
just Filipino versions of vampires.
No.
No.
They're more than that. Aswangs appear as regular townspeople, usually women. In many accounts, they often have very long hair. They're attractive and usually very shy women. They blend amongst regular people and even have day jobs. So you'll never know. At night,
I was like-
however,
I
what?
was like, they have long hair. Oh, wait a minute. And then they said attractive. And then they ended with women. And I was like, oh, I'm cool.
Wow. Okay. At night, however, they shift
I'm
into
okay.
predatory creatures that eat human flesh, preferably children and
Oh my
pregnant
gosh.
women.
Definitely not cool.
These predatory animals can look like a bird or a dog, but how would you differentiate a real bird or a dog to an aswang? Well,
The
there are
eyes.
notable differences. They have long. I keep forgetting how to pronounce it. Proboscis. Yeah, they are long proboscis.
Proboscis.
Proboscis. Sorry. Again, they have long proboscis-like tongues, like what butterflies or bees have. They're often seen walking with their feet backward.
Oh.
What? That seems
So, like-
inefficient.
Yeah, it confuses
turned
trackers.
backward. They're
Like,
very.
if you get those aswang
Uh
hunters.
huh. Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Like
They're
what?
very,
But-
very thin, so they can even hide behind bamboo posts. That's how
Well,
thin
if it's
they are.
commonly known that
damn.
they have like their feet backwards, wouldn't I, as a hunter, just always go like into the opposite
Yeah.
direction when I see
Well,
tracks?
if you don't know what you're dealing with, you wouldn't.
Remember, they
Even
shape
if I'm dealing with a capre, I'd know it would be much. There would be much larger tracks.
Yeah, but there's not only
then
just
if-
capre and aswang in the
I know,
Philippines,
but if you go to a certain region, you go there for a reason. If you have a contract
Right.
for a
Oh,
capre,
true.
you're not gonna track other creatures.
True.
Did we just imagine Witcher in the Philippines?
Okay, so
Oh my
what do
God,
they do,
I'd torrent that.
guys?
Right?
What do he hates it when I do the Valley Girl one. Okay, so what do they do? What do these aswangs do? Aswangs. I just made the plural form
Yeah.
as aswang. But I read it in some articles that they really do call them aswangs as plural. Anyway, they can also transform the appearance of for other objects, so not just themselves. So mostly what they do is turn plants into the doppelgangers of their victims. This way they won't get caught. The doppelgangers will then return home, get sick, and then just die quickly.
Yo,
that's
that's like
cool.
what they did to
That's-
Halo, the Spartan 2s in the program.
I'm
like a
telling
Master
you,
Chief
a
thing.
lot of these things just come from Filipino urban legends. Okay.
Confirmed
They
Master
often-
Chief was victimized by Aswang.
They often appear at funeral wakes or at the bedside of pregnant women. Tik-tik and wak-wak are kinds of aswang in the form of large bird. The word wak-wak comes from the word wak, which is the Tagalog word for crow. And tik-tik is the sound that a gecko makes,
Usually when
usually when
a tick-tick is around.
a tik-tik is around. Okay. So according to the stories I heard, this is from our family.
Yeah.
Like, wak wak or tik tik would usually survey a house where a pregnant lady lives and wait when she's alone. It then flies to the roof, bring down its tongue, and sucks the baby out of the pregnant woman.
Isn't that a manananggal?
Manananggal is under that umbrella term of aswang as well.
Oh.
But yeah,
But that's what the tick.
that's what the tik tik does.
Yeah.
Since
Wait,
usually
is this a story
houses
you got from your family, from your parents.
like from friends, from family,
Relatives.
from
Family
family,
as well.
relatives, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Since usually houses have thatched roof made of straw or palm branches, etc.,
That
its
could
tongue
just
can
be
easily go
penetrated by
through.
the proboscis.
Yeah.
Right. So aswangs would eat the hearts and livers of unborn fetuses and young children. And
Wow.
they usually have, especially the tik-tik or wak-wak, they have this vocal trick where the tik-tik or wak-wak is louder when it's far and it gets quieter and quieter as it gets closer.
That's
So-
so cool because like you would think you're going the right way, but you're just going to him
Towards
the
tik-tik.
tick-tick.
Yeah, yeah. And for if you're not an expert aswang killer, you wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are
So
there
how?
like Filipino horror movies that pick this up?
Yes,
Oh,
a lot.
a lot.
good ones?
The Tick Tick one wasn't that bad.
Yeah. It
What was
became
good?
like an
Yeah.
action, zombie action movie.
Yeah,
kind of.
it's quite cool actually. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
We watched it with my dad, and my dad wanted to watch it just because he wants to see what the CGI quality in the Philippines is. And I mean, it's bad, but the whole thing is quite enjoyable.
It was.
What about
Yeah.
the acting quality then?
The actor, because the actor is one of the more famous actors in the Philippines, so he's
Okay.
okay. So wait, now it's your choice. Do you want me to discuss how to stop them, or
Yes.
how to become one of them first?
Oh.
Become one of them. Become one of them.
How to stop them first?
How to become.
Okay.
Oh man.
Who says how to become?
Me.
Okay, how
Okay.
to become first.
Okay. So there are a couple of ways to become an aswang. If an aswang ends up marrying a human, then the partner will transform into an aswang
Oh.
as well on
Just
their
after
wedding
marriage?
day.
Oh,
On their wedding
dang.
day.
Their wedding
Right.
day.
However, usually aswangs don't reproduce. So they won't have a baby. But it's very rare. It can happen, but very rare.
It becomes a China.
Yeah, so aswang couples will most likely hunt alone in the middle of the night because they do not like sharing food. So you go husband, I go on my own.
That's like a modern
Good
marriage.
dynamic.
What the heck?
Yeah, it's like a good dynamic. Okay. continue.
Yeah. Separating also helps them avoid causing suspicion, of course, and getting
Yeah.
detected.
Pretty smart.
Okay. So how about if you did not find an aswang bride or groom? How do you become an aswang? A human can choose to turn into an aswang by tying a fertilized chicken egg to their stomach. Once the chick passes into their flesh, like go inside you,
Oh my gosh.
they must bury the shell in a bamboo tube with coconut oil and chicken dung. Then they will possess the powers of an aswang.
That
That
sounds
sounds.
a lot harder than marriage.
There's a last way. If an aswang dies, if you have a friend who is an aswang and that aswang dies, they can transfer their abilities to another person by holding their mouth close to them and letting the chick, from when they became an aswang, letting the chick inside them hop from their stomach to the other stomach. So
So
that
why-
aswang dies, and then you become the aswang when the stomach is in your stomach. I mean, when the chicken is in your stomach.
So, in a totally unrelated matter, what's this dish called with the half
Balut.
bread
Balut.
balut?
Yeah, balut.
Yeah, you're halfway to becoming an aswang every time you eat balut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking of.
Right.
Sounds
I
yum
think
as
that's the appeal of it. You
I
know
think
how
so.
when in Japan people eat fugu, the puffer fish. It's because of the thrill of you're almost dying from the most venomous fish. Over here we have the balut where the thrill comes from almost turning into an aswang.
yeah. That's the thrill
So
of
yeah,
it.
you have different ways to become
Yeah.
an aswang
And for the three of us, we don't have to do anything
because
we
we
already
are
are.
descendants of aswangs. Yeah,
So
like
they all made a really rare anomaly to have the three of us.
no, because we are direct descendants from those people. Like,
Okay, in our mother's side,
in
okay,
her mother's side, her mom
yeah, lived in or
was
born and raised in Capiz.
Capiz, which is
One of the most famous places. Like when you say Aswang, you think about Capiz in
Right.
the Philippines because that's
and not just aswang. Actually, you think about manananggal, which is
creatures. Yeah.
yeah, different creatures. It's just very
In
scary in
Capiz.
Capiz.
So yeah, it's like
very
a thing.
supernatural place.
Right.
Yeah, that we're partly like in our bloodline. We have the
Aswang
Capiz
blood.
in us. So yeah, we're creatures. We probably have half a chick in us right
Or a
now.
one-fourth
And you can turn into
I
Yeah,
just
probably.
had a lot of chicken. I don't know what you're talking about. It was
Yeah,
menudo.
so that's that. One thing you learn about us.
So how do you stop us?
Okay. So how do we stop us? Step 1. Identify the monster. They lack sleep from hunting all night, so they usually have bloodshot eyes when they're in human forms. If you
Oh,
look
so
directly at
basically-
their eyes, your reflection will also appear upside down.
Yeah,
Call
I
center
remember
workers.
this.
Huh?
Call center workers.
No. I remember this movie. It's called T2.
T2.
It was a
Yeah.
horror movie. Yeah. The saying was like,
Pagbaliktad
there's a
ka
kid.
sa mga
yeah,
mata nila, ibig sabihin, bad sila.
It translates to if you're upside down in their eyes, that means they're bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because if you look into the
in their eyes.
reflection and you're upside down, that means that person is an aswang. You can also use a medicine doctor's oil made of coconut and holy plants. What do you call
So
doctor's
you're saying
aquax in
essential
English?
oils could save us?
Quack doctors.
Quack doctors. Do you call them quack doctors?
Oh, witch
Do you-
doctors,
do you know-
dude.
Witch,
Have some
witch.
respect.
Oh my gosh,
Or just-
witch doctors.
Or just quacks.
Yeah.
So if an aswang is
quackheads.
near, this water will boil.
Quack doctors.
Oh.
Of course, I have to give you step-by-step instruction on how to make this coconut holy plant blend oil. So to make this oil, pick a coconut at twilight during a full moon when it's wet and gloomy.
Twilight, full moon.
The breeze should also be chilly. So you have to grate the coconut and squeeze the juice out. Boil the mixture until it becomes oil. Recite secret prayers and throw all the waste into the ocean so that aswang cannot trace whoever made the oil. And then, once complete, the oil should be hung at the door of the house. Whenever an aswang is near, it will boil.
When I was alone once at home and I made this, and once I made it, it just evaporated.
Wait, you actually did?
No.
Oh,
But just like, I was such an aswang, it evaporated right then.
Such an aswang.
Wait, you said secret prayers?
Yeah.
it's their secret, so I'll never tell
She's
you.
not going to tell you because,
Because we don't want you to make the oil.
Scratching noises heard from the ceiling is also a signal that an aswang is nearby. My
Bruh,
dad
no.
my dad was
No.
super scared when he visited for the first time. He visited my mom in their province because they met in Saudi Arabia. So they went for a vacation in the Philippines, and my dad visited my mom's family place, which is in Capiz. Or Iloilo, like somewhere near there in that region. And then he was so scared at night that he said he barely slept his whole stay there
Are you allowed to tell us that?
because of the stories that he hears about aswang.
He was in
And of
Capiz,
course
dude.
it's like-
That's the belly of the beast.
Yeah, and it's like windy as well.
Yeah.
So you'd always hear
Things.
things on the ceiling. Okay, anyway, step 2. You can repel them by garlic and other religious artifacts. Also by ash, salt, vinegar, etc. Depending on the region, it differs. Remember,
Makes
they're
it-
weakest during the day. So
Makes
for
it
pregnant
really easy to like fight them in a kitchen.
Yeah.
For pregnant women, one method is for the husband of the childbearing wife to remain under the house naked while furiously I can't keep her.
Furiously what? Like, come on, say it.
Tell us. Furiously waving a sword.
A sword or a flute?
His big pipe.
Imagine the image.
Branch?
To protect your wife.
So it can either be sharp sticks or bolos, like a machete, should be inserted between the bamboos of the house floor to prevent aswangs from lurking under the house. Additionally, sick people should not stay in houses with holes and are told not to groan in order to attract aswang. So it's either your husband wave, as I said,
This is
not
really
just
turning
wave,
into an episode
Naked,
of SpongeBob right
but
now.
furiously wave.
I still can't get the image out of my head. He's just naked under the house.
Yes.
Furiously waving a stick.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Step 3. An aswang can be killed by decapitating it or when you struck it with a whip.
Just like
But-
a lot of
but-
things.
But not just any
Oh.
whip. It should be from a stingray's tail.
Yeah, I've heard of this one.
Okay.
Yo, was Steve Irwin an aswang?
Yeah, Steve Irwin was in a swan.
Okay, another way is to use a bolo knife, which is a machete, and stab it at the aswang's back. Make sure it's at the area because if not, it can just lick its wounds and heal itself. So after killing it, you should bury the knife and also cut off the pieces of the aswang and bury it in 2 sides of the river so they won't be able to regenerate.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's it. That's everything about aswang. But now we go to the source. It's very quick. there are two hypotheses of where this aswang thing comes from. So first, it's the wildlife. Sounds attributed to the aswang's hunting calls, which is the tick tick or wak wak, are similar to the sounds of nocturnal forest wildlife like a gecko or something, or bats and Philippine flying lemurs. The sounds they make have resulted in their being hunted under the suspicions that these creatures are disguised as aswang. That's one.
Ooh.
And the second thing is more, what do you call that?
Morbid.
No.
Really?
Juicy. Or like more
Juicy.
interesting. More interesting. Because
Ah.
there's actually an illness, a disease called X-linked dystonia Parkinsonism.
This one, yeah.
So, individuals diagnosed with this disease exhibit debilitating symptoms that put them in a transforming state, which results
Whoa.
in their bodies twisting, tongues protruding from their mouths,
Oh, wow.
and salivating. So, this became an endemic in Panay or Capiz region,
Okay.
which were
okay.
which where my maternal grandma's family is from. These symptoms caused a major contribution for these myths and narratives. Sadly,
The backwards
individuals
feet. The proboscis tongues.
right.
Yeah.
Sadly, individuals with the disease are branded as aswang and are
Oh,
socially
no.
ostracized, which prevent their families from seeking effective medical treatment and forming them to isolate themselves from the larger community. So this
Dang.
illness called XDP is a genetic form of dystonia found almost entirely amongst males of Filipino descent. So it is also known as the dystonia of Panay due to the fact that most current cases today, this was a report from 2015, can be tracked back to a
Oh.
common ancestor in Panay. And 93% of current cases today are located in Panay, with
Ooh.
63% located in Capiz.
So, okay, our takeaway for today is a drink that I'm so obsessed with in strawberry form, to be specific, and it's in like this really weird space bag. What is it, Kuya?
It is the offspring of the capre, the male one.
So it's the Capri Sun.
Yes.
Capri Sun.
Why
And
is
why
it-
is
why
it?
is it
Why
the
is
Capri
Capri Sun our takeaway?
Because it's delicious and entertaining, and it usually consists of 2% truth, which is the
Hold up.
2% juice
Hold
that
up.
it has.
How does it entertain you?
It entertains me because of that part where you try to get the straw into that bag. That's
Yeah.
super
Or no.
hilarious.
You know the entertaining part is when you finish the drink and you blow it back up.
Yes, and then
That's the
you
entertaining part.
So when you've already like struggled a little bit to find the truth by poking the Capri Sun straw into the pack, you start to like, maybe we should make it a little bit more interesting, more entertaining. So you blow into the truth to inflate it into absurd levels.
Yeah, and sometimes they have this promotional campaign where they let you search for the golden straw, and you think it's out there, and
yeah.
you're searching for
And
it.
also,
Are you guys so irritated at people that put the straw at the butt of the thing? Like they
What?
turn it around because it's sometimes it's hard to. There's a circle, and then sometimes they would just turn it. I have friends like that
what?
who I'm so mad about because they put
I
it
mean,
like
because they don't put in the
underneath.
sharp edge first.
I don't know. I don't
Probably.
know what's their deal with, but
And
I've
guys,
seen people who
Do you guys
drink Capri Suns like
realize that the straw is a proboscis shape and it's sucking out?
Oh, no.
Do you get right? So it's
All right.
we're hitting
and
a lot of
that is
stones.
our
A lot
takeaway
of
for
words.
today, guys. Thank you. Outro, please.
Bye,
drink today.
guys.
Yes, it's just a drink today.
Outro by me. Please follow our Instagrams at Hanaji Puri for the pretty girl in the voice. At Potato _Gami, where I try to draw and try to keep motivated. At Heiko Heilig for the most suspenseful wait for a post.
at Yasin Puri. Don't forget to check his YouTube, Spotify, and others, which are also posted on his Instagram. And finally, at the 4 Takeaway Podcast for updates, announcements, and just plain old crew content. That's it for today's episode. Turn in next week for the next one. What? No.
Your accent just changes.
I know.
As it progresses.
That's it for today's episode. Tune in next week to find out which takeaways we 4 weirdos have picked to talk about next. Hopefully that completes your order. Thanks for listening to
The
Four
Takeaway
Podcast.
Bye, guys. Enjoy.
Don't bring garlic near us. Bye.
Would you like that for dining?
Or for takeaway.
For takeaway.
Order's up.
Would you like that for dining?
Or for takeaway.
For takeaway.